EVO.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Finding Me. I'm Josh Wolf. This is the podcast slash journal entry that I'm making every day to help hold myself accountable and find the most authentic version of me. I wish you guys, maybe I'll keep them from now on. I wish you guys could see how many times I have to start this podcast over because I still don't understand technology. First of all, thank you all so much for being here. Super bummed out about the way the Super Bowl turned out. What a big bummer. Mentally, I am, just so you know, when I don't get to work out, I do struggle mentally, which is kind of, as far as keeping myself out of bad habits and doing the things I need to do. And, because of my shoulder, I haven't been able to work out the way I want to work out or the amount of times that I want to work out. And, the demons really crawl, for me, they creep up. I can see them. I can see it in my behavior. I can see it in my habits. And it's such a bummer when, there's only so many, leg presses I can do. And I just can't do anything with my upper body right now. And it really, I got to figure out a way to channel whatever that is in the gym somewhere else. That intensity, that exertion, to keep me out of this. Where I can see it coming. I can see the bad choices coming. I can see all that shit. So I'm really, for the first time though, in my life, I'm really aware of it. So hopefully that will help me head things off at the pass. I'm really hoping that this show does too, because when I check in every day and say it out loud, it feels way more real, especially when I'm looking directly at myself when I do it. So hoping this helps me. I'm actually wringing my hands as we're doing this. It makes me so nervous, but I'm hopeful. I can tell also I'm in I I told you guys about the knickknacks, right? By the way, so I do have a bit of an addictive personality. I was only going to do 3 of these a day. I think I'm up to probably 15. I just when I don't work out, I'm like, what can I put in my body that, I think maybe it just I work so hard in there that it takes all of that out. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But these are awesome though. Thank God that I'm doing these instead of the Zins. These are natural and clean and taste delicious. That's why I'm eating 15 a day. Um Such a bummer. But besides that, comedy had a show last night that I did not want to do for a multitude of reasons. And it turned out, I think I found a joke or two. I didn't bring the guitar. I sat on the stool for most of the time. And so I felt really good. I would like to challenge myself, not like to, I am going to challenge myself to write a song a week, a song a week. So that's kind of where I'm at. I do want to address, I watched that Bad Bunny halftime, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. The music is not for me. I didn't get it, but I don't have to get it. If I'm being even more honest, I probably like Kid Rock's music more than Bad Bunny's. But the messaging, for Kid Rock to say something like, he's going to wear a dress and speak in Spanish, and I'm going to do something for people who love America. Well, I do love America. You told me I don't love America because I didn't watch the Kid Rock show. It's the divisive messaging I just cannot get on board with. It's I just can't. I can't. It's like, man, no matter what you think about, let's just say, this is what kills me. No matter what you think about trans kids in sports, okay? And I think it's a legitimate conversation to have. And I don't know the science, but I'm sure there's science that either proves or disproves that the trans athletes are stronger or whatever it is. But when you put it in the world, in the way that it's been put in the world, all the heat and all the hate goes to these kids who shouldn't be in the discussion. They're really just kids, whether you think they're mentally ill or not. I don't, but you can. But whether you think they're mentally ill or not, they're just kids trying to live their lives. And so, like, instead of adults having just real conversations, all this blowback goes towards these kids like they're trying to do something bad to the female athletes. Like they're trying to hurt these, replace, or like it's some sort of malicious, and it's not. They're just kids. It's the same thing with trans adults. They're just trying to take a piss. You know what I mean? So let's have adult conversations, but let's not just label them as creepers or rapists who want to be. So then what happens is there's no intelligent, we can't have the intelligent conversation. It just hate goes to this group of people who are just trying to live their lives. It's the same thing. I think representation is important, man. I was thinking about this. I grew up in an age, there was so few like gay representation. We thought George Michael was straight. That's how little we knew about gay people. We thought I was like, that dude fucks. I mean, he did, but not who I thought he was fucking. It's, I was like, because girls in my school loved Boy George. He's so sexy. It's a hot. And then dudes were dressing like Boy George thinking, I'm going to get some pussy. But like, you know, so I think it's important to look on us. And this dude's message last night, and again, the music was not for me. It's not my thing. But Beyonce's music isn't for me at all. At all. But I'll watch her. As a performer, I'll watch that shit, dude. She is hard to take your eyes off of as a performer. You know what I mean? Not, you know what I'm saying? And this dude's show was so cool. And so, God bless America, I believe, is, it felt very, and also, man, as me, I'm a curious person. I am curious about other cultures. I'm not scared of other cultures or being, replaced in somehow. But all of this, right? Including like immigrants, and instead of having intelligent conversations, people attack your emotions, which makes you go after that group. To see such anger at the immigrants, and the majority of them who are just trying to come here dude, if I lived in Honduras, I would be like, and I lived in a wherever, I don't know Honduras, I'm just saying. Or I live anywhere dilapidated and the government was corrupt, and there's no chance of success or a life for my kids. You're fucking right. I would try to come to America. I mean, maybe not anymore, but like, so to vilify the people is what I'm saying. Instead of having intelligent conversations about the topic or the views that are different. This is the problem I have with the rhetoric that's out there. I am all about this. I'm all about us thinking differently. There's a dude who watches this who I addressed one of his comments on a previous podcast. And by the way, I read your comment, man. I forget what your handle is, Lucky Dog or Lucky the Pug, or I appreciate you sending that, man. And this is the type of conversation we should be having with each other, not automatically, calling people losers. And the problem with what our president sends out, if he was a normal citizen, is no problem. I would still call it racist or whatever. But he's a tone setter. There's the reason that we see people so freely being racist and hateful and is because it's trickle down. By the way, when the woke went too far and they took the Mr. out of Mr. Potato Head, and I'm not for that either. When that dude Milo was trying to go to Milo's and Papadopoulos was going on campus tours and people were telling him you can't speak here, I'm against that too. You don't have to listen. But suppressing people is difficult. But when you're the president, you should be held to a different standard. And for the president to send out a more scathing post about a halftime show than he has about a list of pedophiles. Look, dude, especially if he's not involved. You know what I mean? It's a bummer. And that's all. That's where I'm at. I'm going to try not to talk too much more about it, but it's hard, man. I wake up and I'm bummed out. I wake up a lot and I'm bummed out. And I'm angry. Because it's not, I don't think it's what makes this country special, Anyways, I have to tell you a funny story. P.S. I was in Tempe this week, and fentanyl has hit Tempe. Yo, dude, I have never seen more humans standing up, but standing like a folded suitcase. Like, which is crazy to me because that means people see people like that and are like, yeah, I think I'd try that. Nothing about that looks fun. A folded human suitcase. I can't. At least heroin I get because in the movies they make heroin, at least the first half of the movie, they make heroin look like so much fun. People having a good time. It's the second half of the movie. Like if you watch the second half, you're like, oh, that's the part of heroin I don't like. Yeah, the sucking dick for heroin stuff. That's where I'm at. But fentanyl, I don't know where this does not look fun. The fact that this dude could tie his shoes with his mouth. Like does it make your spine jello? How are they folded in half, for fuck's sake? Yeah, it doesn't look fun. It's already 15 minutes. Listen, guys. By the way, finding me with Josh Wolf at gmail.com, finding me with Josh Wolf at gmail.com. I will read emails and stuff on Thursdays. And comments on the videos on Thursdays. Well, it comes out Friday. I filmed the day before, just so you guys know. I loved getting your messages, good and bad, and no bad actually. Like the one I got from that dude, Lucky the Pug, is not bad. It's his opinion. I'm not anti your opinion if it's just because it's not mine. So send in comments, something you want to hear. It might fit my narrative, it might not. So I may talk about it, I might not. But I really am enjoying this, and I really am curious if this pod/journal entry will help me tame down my demons while I'm not working out. I think it might. I mean, it hasn't slowed down the nick. Although these are so good, guys. Stop it. The knickknacks are like so good. I'm hoping. Oh, and I got an aura ring, because that's one other thing I can be obsessed with, is checking my heart rate. Yeah. Anyways, I gotta run. Finding me with Josh Wolf. We'll get into another of my insecurities tomorrow. So far, we've covered my giant forehead and my insecurity about where I am with my peers in this business. Tomorrow will be another doozy. I love being here. I'm super grateful. You are, and I'm saying this looking straight at the camera to myself, man. You are enough. There's one of you. Just one. 101. I'm going to go ahead and end this before I fart. But we'll see you tomorrow, everybody.